After the car crash, my girlfriend of 7 years lost her memory. I refused to give up, taking her to all our old spots to help her remember the life we built. That was until a party where I overheard her sneering to someone. After all these years, I was so sick of Davis. I was just in a fake amnesia so we could have a clean break. But Davis is so clingy I can't get rid of him. It's so annoying. He tells me about our past every day. But who wants to remember those boring, stale memories? She tossed aside 7 years of shared memories like they were worthless. Later, I was the one who lost my memory, forgetting everything before she ever could. But then she was the one with bloodshot eyes, kneeling humbly before me, begging, "Davis, please, I'm begging you, don't forget me." Isabella had disappeared again. Ever since her amnesia, she had a habit of vanishing without a word. I searched every street in the city for her, finally spotting her outside a restaurant. I was about to go inside when I heard her scoffing, "Don't be fooled by his whole untouchable Ice King act." Once I actually got him, I realized how incredibly boring he is. We've been together for 7 years. Holding his hand feels like holding my own. There's just no spark anymore. My hand froze on the door. Her voice was perfectly rational, completely lucid. Someone in the group asked, "If you don't like him, why not just break up? Why go through the trouble of faking amnesia?" Isabella's voice turned cold. "I chased him for 3 years before he finally gave in. I'm not about to just let him go that easily. It doesn't feel right. So I decided to fake amnesia, let him get a taste of what it feels like to be the one doing all the work." There wasn't a hint of guilt or regret in her voice, only resentment and bitterness. It was as if she was finally getting her revenge. I felt like I'd been struck by lightning. 6 months ago, Isabella had been in a minor car accident and lost her memory. She remembered everyone else, but she had forgotten only me. The doctor said it was dissociative amnesia. Maybe she'd recover tomorrow, maybe never. I couldn't accept that. The woman I'd loved for 7 years had forgotten everything about us. I worked myself to the bone to pay for the best specialists. On weekends, I'd take her to all the places we used to go, hoping to spark a memory. She would always get agitated on these trips, and I'd have to comfort her, telling her it was okay if nothing came back. Now I see she was just tired of putting on an act for me. The conversation inside was still going on. A chorus of laughter erupted. "Ha ha! Leave it to Isabella to have the campus Ice King wrapped around her little finger. Besides, you know what they say, out with the old, in with the new. If Davis doesn't leave, how can you make room for your new man, Ethan?" Isabella's only response was a non-committal laugh. "Ethan, so it was because of him." At first, Isabella couldn't stand Ethan. He was a few years younger, had a huge crush on her in college, and after graduation, he'd pulled strings to get into the same company and onto the same project team as her. But he was incompetent, his work was sloppy, and he was constantly making mistakes. On top of that, he was always fawning over Isabella. She used to complain to me about him all the time. "You have no idea. He doesn't even know how to use basic formulas in Excel." He asked me for help all day. We had spicy crawfish today, and he didn't even know how to peel them. I had to do it for him. He's so helpless. But whenever she talked about Ethan, her eyes would light up with a smile. Gradually, she started bringing him up more and more. Once while we were shopping, she said, "Ethan has this same shirt. I told him he looked childish in it, and he just told me to shut up." When we get bubble tea, she'd say, "Ethan loves this flavor too. It's so sweet. I don't get his taste at all." Sometimes when I was talking to her, I could tell her mind was somewhere else. Finally, after she brought up Ethan for the 10th time that day, I snapped, "Can you please stop talking about Ethan?" She looked stunned for a second, then snuggled into my arms. "What's wrong? Are you jealous?" I pressed my lips together and didn't answer. She picked up her phone and right in front of me, deleted and blocked Ethan's contact. "We're just co-workers. Does that make you feel better?" And it did. I was relieved, and I never brought it up again. How pathetic. I trusted her completely, and in return, she drove a knife straight through my heart. It was a bloody mess. A single tear fell, so fast it felt like an illusion. Inside, the conversation went on. "If you really want to get back at him, Isabella, you should go home and pretend you're starting to remember things. Give him a little hope. That way, when you finally dump him, he'll be completely devastated. I can't wait to see the look on Mr. Untouchable's face when he's totally crushed. It'll be epic. Their laughter made me sick to my stomach. I prayed silently, Isabella, just say no. Just tell them they're wrong, and we can still end this with some dignity. But after a suffocating silence, I heard Isabella's voice, full of amusement. That's an interesting idea. You guys are pretty good at this. A sharp, suffocating pain shot through my head, like needles piercing my skull. I tried to force a smile, but the tears came first. Isabella, you have no idea. There's something growing in my brain. The doctor said that if they remove it, there's a high chance I'll forget you. That's why I've been putting off the surgery. I was hoping you would get your memory back first. That way, even if I forgot everything, you could help me remember us. But it was all a lie. I was enduring all this pain and fear for nothing more than a cruel joke at my expense. I had just gotten home when a colleague from the architecture firm called. Davis, we've got a rush job due next week. The pay is great. You want in? After the accident, I'd taken Isabella to every neurologist and therapist I could find, and the bills were running $5,000 or $6,000 a month. Isabella was recovering at home, so my salary was her only income, and it wasn't nearly enough. I started taking on freelance projects, working day and night to make ends meet. My best friend, Liam, once joked, "Be careful you don't work yourself to death. Before she's cured, she'll just move on, find a new guy, and live it up." I just laughed it off. Isabella would never do that. She's in more pain than I am over this. She can barely sleep at night. Looking back now, she was probably just laughing at me, watching me run around like a fool, all because of her lie. And all the while, she was already planning her future with another man. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through my head. I curled up on the couch, wrapping my arms tightly around my knees. I must have drifted off because I was woken up by a noise next to me. A cool, damp embrace startled me. It was Isabella. Her voice was full of feigned concern. Davis, you fell asleep on the couch again. You'll catch a cold. You have to take better care of yourself. I worry about you. I opened my eyes to see her looking at me with a gaze full of adoration. Unbelievable. Playing me for a fool while pretending to love me so deeply. Well, I didn't say anything. She produced a bowl of soup from behind her back. Butternut squash soup. She crouched in front of me, beaming. Davis, I think I remembered something. The memory hit me instantly. We had just started dating, and I'd mentioned offhand that I was craving butternut squash soup. She drove 2 hours across the city to get it for me from my favorite place. It was the middle of a freezing December, and she held the container against her chest the whole way back to keep it warm, burning herself in the process. She had the same smile on her face then as she did now. Where did that person, the one who loved me so much, go? I couldn't hold back any longer. My eyes welled up with tears. Isabella panicked. Davis, what's wrong? It's all my fault. Please don't cry. It breaks my heart to see you cry. I took a deep breath, fighting back the tears, and said seriously, Isabella, waiting for you to remember things piece by piece is too much. I can't do this anymore. I watched her eyes carefully. For a split second, I saw panic in her eyes. Davis, don't joke like that. A joke? You're the one who's been treating my life like a joke. You give me a taste of sweetness, only to push me into a deeper despair. Isn't this exactly what you wanted? Suddenly, she threw her arms around me, her kisses urgent and desperate. It was fierce and overwhelming. I just let it happen passively. In the haze, I heard her whisper in my ear, Davis, never leave me. Her kiss almost broke through my resolve. It took all my strength to finally push her away. Don't ever talk about breaking up again, she commanded. When I nodded, she looked satisfied and went to take a shower. Before she closed the door, she added, Don't forget to eat the soup while it's warm. Be good. I heard the shower start. Isabella's phone, left on a coffee table, kept lighting up. I unlocked it and saw an iMessage from an unknown number. Are you home yet? I clicked on the contact's profile and saw their Facebook page. The latest post was a picture of Ethan with a bowl of butternut squash soup. The caption read, You mention you're craving something, and someone brings it to you. I guess this is what love tastes like. The likes underneath were all from Isabella's friends. I closed my eyes, my head throbbing. Isabella had no idea. For a second, when I saw that soup, I almost forgot it was all an act. I almost believed that she really, truly loved me. But her real affection, her real love, was for someone else. Once I calmed down, I took out my phone and photographed their entire message history. A message from 6 months ago caught my eye. It was from Ethan. "Hey, did you see this news story? It would be perfect if you got amnesia. You could break up with him without any drama." Isabella's reply was simple. "Interesting idea." A few messages later, they had the whole plan worked out. This wasn't a spontaneous decision. It was premeditated. And I was the only one who didn't know. From a month ago. "Ethan, why are you busy again? I miss you." "Isabella, can't. Davis is taking me on the Ferris wheel today. He thinks kissing at the top might help me remember something." "Ethan, that's so childish. Do people still do that?" "Isabella, I know, right? Back when we started dating, I told him a stupid story about how couples who do that stay together forever. He actually believed me. He's so gullible." A sharp, violent pain shot through my chest. My hand was shaking so badly I could barely read the screen. I memorized every single word she wrote. So gullible. But that's okay. Not anymore. The next day, it was pouring rain. I went to the hospital first thing in the morning and scheduled the surgery. My doctor was relieved and booked me for the following week. One more week. I will be free of all this. As I walked out of the hospital, I was shocked to see Isabella waiting in her car to pick me up. "Surprise," she chirped. As I got in, she handed me a gift box. Inside was the watch I'd been wanting for months. But I remember from their messages last night that this was the watch Ethan had been asking for. I never imagined she would give it to me. "I know you've wanted this for a long time, Davis," she said, her expression serious. "You've been under so much stress lately. Don't worry, I promise I'll get my memory back." I couldn't figure her out at all. "Let me put it on for you," Isabella said excitedly. "Davis, you look so handsome. I'm so lucky to have you." The sincerity in her eyes was unnerving. I almost believed her. I made up an excuse about working late, avoided Isabella, and went to a coffee shop near my office. Ethan was already there waiting. He'd been spamming me with iMessage requests to meet all night, and I finally gave in just to shut him up. He was a handsome kid, and he smirked when he saw the watch on my wrist. "Isabella tried to give me that exact watch a few days ago," he said. "But watches are for old guys, so I turned it down. I guess she gave it to you instead. But you're older than me, Davis, so it suits you. I'm young. I can pull off anything." So I was getting his hand-me-downs. Seeing my expression darken, Ethan's smile only widened. "Davis, you've seen our messages. I'll be honest with you. We've done everything you can imagine, and then some. Isabella lost her memory of you. What's the point of clinging to her? Just let her go. Face it, she's been over you for a long time." "You're pretty confident," I shot back. "Aren't you worried that one day she'll get sick of you too?" "You just don't get it," Ethan whispered, leaning in close. "She feels differently about me. I'll prove it to you right now." With that, he lifted his cup of coffee over his own head and dumped it all over himself. Then he started crying, shouting at me, "Davis, I know you don't like me, but you can't just attack me like this." From behind me, I heard Isabella's hesitant voice. "Davis." It was the oldest trick in the book. I picked up the cup of hot water from my table, and as Isabella watched in shock, slowly poured it over Ethan's head. I met Ethan's shocked and furious gaze with a smile. "I don't really care if she believes you or not." This was more satisfying. Ethan started sobbing, grabbing onto Isabella's sleeve. "Isabella, it hurts so much." But Isabella pulled away, giving him a cold look. "Didn't I tell you to leave Davis alone?" Ethan clenched his fists, frozen in shock. Isabella took my hand, her voice soft. "Honey, there's nothing between us. Don't be angry. Let's go home." I stared into her eyes and said slowly, "But Ethan said you two have done everything. He told me I should let you go." A flicker of panic crossed Isabella's face before she said firmly, "He's lying. You have to believe me, Davis." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Ethan's face go pale as he swayed on his feet. He suddenly shouted, "Yes, I was lying. It's all my fault. I fell for someone I shouldn't have, and I don't care what anyone says. I just want to be with her. I thought she liked me back, but I guess I was just fooling myself. I'll go." With tears streaming down his face, he turned and ran out of the coffee shop, disappearing into the heavy rain. Isabella never once looked at him, but her grip on my hand grew tighter and tighter. It seemed she felt sorry for him. "Davis, now do you believe me?" she asked. I pulled my aching hand from her grasp. "Isabella, aren't you exhausted from all this acting? Faking amnesia, faking that you love me, it must be exhausting. Actually, I have a solution that works for both of us. I have something growing in my brain, and removing it will cause memory loss. Just pay me back for the last 6 months of your medical bills, and I'll disappear from your life forever." Isabella's expression turned vicious. "So that's your game? You want to take my money and run off with some other woman? I have amnesia, so you suddenly have amnesia too? What a pathetic excuse." She didn't believe me. I wonder how much she'll regret these words when I actually do lose my memory. Isabella gritted her teeth. "You always bring up how I chased you for 3 years. I've only had amnesia for 6 months, and you're already giving up on me?" "Yes, 3 years. In college, I was known as the campus ice king, completely unapproachable. Girls would try to pursue me. One even brought me coffee every morning. I poured it out right in front of her. She ran off crying, and after that, no one else tried. But Isabella was different. Faced with my icy exterior, she just tried harder, determined to win me over. She brought me breakfast in the mornings, bought me roses and chocolates on Valentine's Day, and always had tickets for the latest movie premiere. I remained completely unmoved until the summer after my freshman year. It was a day just like this, with a torrential thunderstorm. My alcoholic father, drowning in gambling debts, cornered me at the campus gate. "Don't listen to that mother of yours. What's the point of college? You won't make any real money. Come with me now. We'll go work some dead-end job at a site. You can make some quick cash while you're young. I'm doing this for you." He grabbed me by the hair and tried to drag me towards a beat-up van parked on the street. Thunder cracked overhead as the rain came down in sheets. I screamed in the rain, struggling desperately to get away from him. And then Isabella appeared out of nowhere. She kicked my father hard in the leg, sending him stumbling backward. "You bitch, you dare hit me?" Isabella pulled me behind her and said coldly, "I've already called the cops. You should think about the consequences before you do anything stupid." My father's snarling face froze. He spat on the ground. "Damn it, Davis, you're just like your mother. Already got yourself a little whore at your age. Get lost." Isabella raised her fist. My father backed away, scared, then scrambled into the van and sped off into the rain. Isabella took off her jacket and draped it over my shoulders, gently steadying me. "It's okay, Davis. It's okay now." In her warm embrace, I finally broke down and sobbed. I told her everything. About my broken childhood, about my father's drinking, gambling, and abuse, about my mother who refused to leave him because she believed in love, about a boy who saw studying as his only escape. The boy could never understand why his mother wouldn't leave, even after being beaten black and blue. "Love is a gamble," she would say. "If I walk away now, I lose everything I bet on." The boy decided that anything that could cause so much pain couldn't possibly be a good thing. So bit by bit, he closed himself off, building walls around his heart so no one could get in. I still remember, after I finished my story, Isabella carefully wiped away my tears. "Davis, I know you don't trust me yet," she said, "but I'll let time prove that I'm different." And so began her 3-year pursuit. She never complained, never gave up, and finally, she broke through my walls. But she had lied. After 7 years, she was already sick of me. I had placed my bet on her. The wager was my entire life's happiness, and I lost. I lost everything. Soon enough, the day of my surgery arrived. After the pre-op check, my doctor frowned. "Where's your family, Davis? It's one thing to come to appointments alone, but you need someone here for the surgery. Post-op care requires family support, but I don't have any family. My mother died before I started college. After years of my father's abuse, it was a miracle she even lived that long. As for that scumbag, he died in a car crash right after I graduated. I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. The only person I had who felt like family was Isabella. But how could I possibly rely on her now?" The doctor sighed. "It doesn't matter who it is. but you need someone here to look after you when you get out of surgery. If you don't have anyone, we can't operate. I sat down on a bench in the hallway, staring blankly at my contacts. My best friend, Liam, was overseas. The earliest he could possibly get here would be tomorrow morning. After hesitating, I finally called Isabella. Her voice was uncertain. Right now? Can it wait? In the background, I could hear Ethan's voice. Isabella, the doctor's calling for me. I'm scared. Please come with me. Isabella's voice dropped to a whisper. Ethan's sick and he has no one else, so I'm here with him at the clinic while he gets him for. I'll come find you as soon as he's done. My chest tightened. I couldn't breathe. Isabella, they're about to cut open my skull for surgery. Is that less important than him getting in for drip? There was a sharp intake of breath on her end. Then silence. Then her voice came back, laced with anger. One lie was enough, Davis. How long are you going to keep this up? I told you. I'll be there when Ethan is done. Can you stop being so dramatic? She hung up. I just stood there holding the phone for a long time. She chose Ethan. I should have expected it. Still, there was a dull ache in my chest. But it didn't matter. All of this would be over soon. And my plan for revenge was just getting started. The surgery was a success. Seeing that I was alone, a kind nurse helped me back to my room. I slept until it was dark outside. I got up and went down to the main lobby to find something to eat. In the distance, I saw a couple. The man and woman were standing close together. He seemed to be pouting, and she was leaning in, smiling gently. Two names surfaced in my mind. Someone next to me commented, "What a good-looking couple." I nodded in agreement. Yeah. Just then, the woman turned, saw me, and her expression filled with panic. She pushed through the people between us, pulled me into a hug, and started checking me over from head to toe. Her eyes were overflowing with worry and tension. Davis, what are you doing here? Your head, what happened? It was strange. I put a hand on my chest. My heart seemed to skip a beat. I blinked a few times and asked, "Ma'am, who are you?" The frantic look on Isabella's face froze. The man next to her, Ethan, sneered, "Davis, your acting is terrible. You're not even convincing." Isabella grabbed my wrist. "Stop messing around. Let's go home." "I don't know you," I yelled, trying to pull away. "That's enough, Davis," she hissed, her voice low and angry. "I haven't even dealt with you for cheating on me yet. Stop playing these games. My patience is wearing thin." The next second, someone slapped Isabella hard across the face, sending her stumbling backward. The newcomer stepped back and took my hand. "I'm not too late, am I?" I grabbed her sleeve, a huge smile spreading across my face. "Chloe, you're back." Chloe and I grew up next door to each other. We were childhood friends. When we were kids, my dad gambled away all our money, and I often went to bed hungry. Chloe would always sneak me some of her snacks. She always used to tease me. "You ate my snacks, so now you have to marry me when we grow up." And for the promise of a nightly snack, a cake or a bag of chips, I shamelessly agreed. But after high school, Chloe moved to Europe for college, and we slowly lost touch. I frowned, looking at her. "You're so thin. Didn't they feed you over there?" Isabella stared at us, her eyes burning with rage. "Davis, I'm giving you one last chance. Come back to me. I'm your girlfriend." Chloe raised an eyebrow. "Davis, what is with your taste in women? You need to dump this psycho immediately." I shook my head frantically. "She's not my girlfriend. I don't even know who she is." Chloe grinned at Isabella. "You hear that? Stay away from my Davis, or you'll have to deal with me." Ethan sneered. "So, Davis, where do you find this new piece of trash?" "I have to say, she's a perfect match for you." Chloe narrowed her eyes, her gaze fixed on Ethan. Her stare was so intense that Ethan actually took a step back. Chloe spoke slowly, her voice dangerously calm. "You should consider yourself lucky that I don't hit people for no reason." Ethan tried to act tough. "Looks like I hit a nerve. You're just feeling guilty." The next second, a blur of motion shot past me towards Ethan. A heavy fist connected with his face, and Ethan screamed. Chloe casually wiped her knuckles. "I forgot to mention, I make exceptions for scumbags like you." "Enough!" Isabella shrieked, her eyes locked on me. "Davis, you cheated. You faked amnesia, all just to make me angry." "Well, congratulations, it worked. Before you point fingers at anyone else, maybe you should take a look at yourself." Liam stepped forward from behind me. I was about to ask you the same thing, Isabella. Did you have fun pretending to have amnesia and playing Davis for a fool? Isabella's face clouded over. She bit out the words, "That was only because he cheated on me first. I worshipped him for years, chased him relentlessly, and then he betrayed me. It's his fault. Cheated." Liam pulled a stack of photos from his jacket and threw them at Isabella's face. The photos showed me and Chloe in a passionate kiss. Chloe clicked her tongue. Wow, whoever photoshopped these did a pretty good job, though they did add about 10 pounds to me. I couldn't help myself and tickled Chloe's side. "Can you please not make things worse?" Isabella stared at the photos, muttering in disbelief. "Impossible. How can they be fake?" Liam then pulled out my medical report. "You were so convinced Davis was lying to you? Well, here's the proof. Davis was diagnosed with a brain tumor months ago. If he'd had it removed immediately, there would have been no side effects. But that's right when you decided to fake your amnesia. He was terrified that the surgery would make him forget you, so he kept putting it off. Do you have any idea the kind of risk he was taking for you?" Liam grabbed Isabella by the collar. "You don't deserve him, Isabella," he snarled. "He knew you were lying to him before the surgery. He gave you so many chances to come clean, and you threw every single one of them away." Isabella slowly looked up, her face ashen. "What did you say?" "Davis knew the whole time." Liam said, "Davis left a journal for you. Everything you want to know is in there." March. My headaches have been getting worse. Liam dragged me to the doctor for a checkup. To be honest, I'm terrified. If it's something serious, what would Isabella do? If I died, I know she'd cry her eyes out. God, I hope it's nothing. March. The tumor isn't large. The doctor said we caught it early. But then Isabella got in that car accident. She has amnesia. She remembers everyone and everything except me. I want to break down, but I can't. I don't want to upset her. I've decided to postpone the surgery. The doctor warned me that delaying could have serious consequences. But I can't leave Isabella like this. I have to be here to help her get her memories back. May, I got Isabella bubble tea today, and she brought up Ethan again. She was talking about how he likes sickeningly sweet drinks and how she can't stand them. She was smiling the whole time. I don't see what's so funny. I'm starting to get tired of it. June, I'm so exhausted. I took on another job to pay for Isabella's treatments. My head still hurts constantly, and the medication the doctor gave me just makes me sick. I have to keep going. Isabella will get better. August 25th. The amnesia was a lie. Everyone knew but me. I've been played for a fool. Isabella, why would you do this to me? August. It's pathetic. Isabella, when I think about our 7 years together now, all I feel is disgust. I gave you so many chances these past few days. I kept probing, hoping you would tell me the truth. But you never did. You enjoyed it all without a shred of guilt, lying to my face, setting me up for an even bigger fall. You make me sick. You're not the person I fell in love with. I gambled on you, and I lost. But it's okay. I am letting go. Isabella, I don't want you anymore. After she read the journal, Isabella started waiting outside my hospital room every day. At first, she tried to come in, but Liam and Chloe always stopped her. So she just stood guard out there day and night. Her eyes were red-rimmed and her hair was a mess. Whenever I glanced her way, her eyes would fill with tears. I couldn't take it anymore, so I finally called her into the room to confront her. Don't you like that Ethan guy? We're over, so go be with him. And stop standing outside my door, crying all day. You're going to cry away any good luck I have left. She tried to smile, but it looked more painful than crying. What are you talking about? You're the only one I've ever loved. I thought you were cheating, and my friends came up with this stupid idea to test you by faking amnesia. It's all my fault. I wasn't thinking straight. I know you're angry. It's okay, you can hit me, you can scream at me, do whatever you want. But Davis, you can't forget me. I'll help you get better. I promise. Please, just don't forget me. She knelt on my bed, pleading. I stared at her for a moment, then I started to laugh. Even if I didn't remember our past, we were together for 7 years, and you were willing to believe a few obviously fake photos over me. You never trusted me. And then you pulled this pathetic amnesia stunt to test me. What kind of idiot would I have to be to stay with you after that? Her face fell, and she didn't say a word. I looked at her calmly. Isabella, we're done. After that day, I didn't see Isabella again. After I was discharged, Chloe helped me pack up my things from my old apartment, and I found a new place to live. Liam came over for the housewarming. He showed me a story that was blowing up on Twitter. Apparently, Ethan had been exposed for being a homewrecker. In college, he'd been having an affair with the wife of some rich guy. An anonymous source had also leaked the story about him and Isabella. Suddenly, Ethan was public enemy number one online. One comment. So the homewrecker's defense is that the husband wasn't loved enough? Since when did they get so self-righteous? Another said, can the algorithm please stop showing me this stuff? It's making me physically ill. The guy's a jerk, but the woman is just as bad. Hiding behind the just friends excuse while acting like a couple, then blaming the actual girlfriend for being suspicious. I agree with the comment above. It takes two to tango. If she hadn't been receptive, he never would have had a chance. I looked at Liam, confused. Liam shrugged. It wasn't me. I hadn't even gotten around to it yet. I did some digging. It was Isabella. My chopsticks froze in midair. Too little, too late. Exactly, Liam said. If she really wanted you to forgive her, the best thing she could do is disappear from your life for good. 3 days later, Isabella was standing on my doorstep. I opened my door that morning to find Isabella standing there with a bouquet of roses, smiling at me. I know we're not together anymore, and I know you don't remember me. But that's okay. I can win you back. She started bringing me breakfast every morning and waiting outside my office every evening to walk me home. She was always telling me stories about our past, little details that meant nothing to me. I would look annoyed, and her eyes would well up, but she'd just say firmly, I'll make you remember. Finally, I got so fed up that I gave her an ultimatum. Isabella, if you don't stop, I'm calling the police. Please, just one last chance, she pleaded. Isabella took me to a restaurant she said used to be her favorite spot. The last dish they brought out was spicy crawfish. She put on a pair of gloves and carefully began peeling them, placing the meat in my bowl. A nostalgic smile played on her lips. You used to love the crawfish from this place. It would make your eyes water, but you'd keep eating it anyway. I frowned and pushed the plate away. I don't eat spicy food. Her smile froze. She asked cautiously, oh, well, what do you want to eat? I can go get you something else. I looked out the window. Chloe was waving at me, holding a slice of my favorite cheesecake. She was picking me up for a movie. I stood up to leave, but Isabella grabbed the hem of my shirt. I turned back and saw the desperate look on her face. If you're still hungry, I can get you something else. Just please don't leave, Davis. I even bought tickets for that new horror movie. I can take you. Chloe stormed in, angry. She pulled Isabella's hand off me and sneered. Are you really this clueless, Isabella? Or are you just pretending? Davis's favorite food is dessert, and his favorite movies are action films. He can't handle spicy food, and he hates horror movies. He only pretended to like those things because you did. Isabella's hand, still clutching my shirt, began to tremble. Isabella, you keep talking about how wonderful our memories were, but all I see is how much I compromised, how much I gave up. I feel sorry for the man I used to be. I get it now. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. You have to cherish the time you had, but also respect when it's over. Isabella, I need to move on with my life. She looked at me with wide, panicked eyes like an abandoned puppy. Please, Davis, don't leave me. I'll be good to you, I promise. From now on, I'll treat you right forever. I slowly, deliberately pulled my shirt from her white-knuckled grip. Her devotion had come too late. I didn't need it anymore. But the unexpected always happened so suddenly. Just as I was about to step out of the restaurant, a man with a wild look in his eyes and a week's worth of stubble burst through the door. It was Ethan. When he saw me, his face twisted into a grotesque smile. He raised a bottle filled with what looked like acid and lunged at me. You ruined my life, you bastard. Now you're going to die. After his home-wrecking story went viral, his reputation was destroyed. He was fired, blacklisted from the industry, and doxxed by online mobs. He had clearly snapped. It all happened so fast that neither Chloe nor I had time to react. The bottle was flying towards me. Then a warm body shielded me. It was Isabella. She had thrown herself in front of me, and the acid splashed all over her back. An expression of agony crossed her face, but through the pain, she smiled at me. "I finally got to protect you for once," she whispered. There was a roaring in my ears. I could hear people screaming, someone calling 911, Chloe shouting my name. But it was all just background noise. All I could focus on was Isabella growing cold in my arms. I grabbed her by the earlobe and yelled, "Isabella, if you die, I swear I won't even visit your grave. I'll let you get bullied by all the other ghosts down there." Her fingers twitched. I knew she'd heard me, and in that moment, she knew too. I had never lost my memory. She had said those exact words to me once. We had just started dating and took a trip to a nearby city. I accidentally ate something with peanuts in it and had a severe allergic reaction. I couldn't breathe. We were in an unfamiliar city. We couldn't find a taxi, and I felt like I was dying. I leaned against her, gasping for air. "Isabella," I wheezed. "I think I'm going to die." It was the only time I'd ever seen her truly furious. She held me tight, her voice shaking with rage. "Don't you dare, Davis. If you die, I swear I'll forget all about you by tomorrow and find a new boyfriend. And I won't even visit your grave. I'll let you get bullied by all the other ghosts down there." They were the cruelest words imaginable, but they shocked me back to life, gave me the will to keep fighting. The past felt like a dream that had long since faded. The next time I saw Isabella was in the hospital. She was recovering well. The doctor said Ethan had been tricked. The acid was a low-concentration chemical. It wouldn't cause disfigurement, but Isabella would be left with scars on her back. She didn't seem to care about the scars. She just stared at me from her bed. "You remember now." I looked down and sighed. "Isabella, I never lost my memory. I was lucky. My surgeon was brilliant, and the operation was a complete success. No side effects, no complications. I wanted you to know what it felt like to be on the other side of the lie. Now you know how I felt, don't you?" She opened her mouth to speak, but tears fell instead. I looked away. If this hadn't happened, I was planning on keeping up the act forever. A flicker of hope sparked in her eyes. "Does that mean you forgive me?" "No, it means you took that chemical for me, and I told you the truth. Now we're even." She struggled to sit up. "We can start over. I still love you, and I know you still love me too." I nodded slowly. It was true. There was still a part of me that cared. You can't just turn off 7 years of feelings like a switch. "I'm leaving you not because I stopped loving you, but because the way you treated me made me realize I don't need you in my life. We could drag this out, but what would be the point? It's better to end it than to destroy each other." A part of me would miss her, and it would hurt. But it was time for this chapter to end. "Isabella, this is the last time we'll see each other." I walked out of the hospital. Chloe was waiting for me. Chloe took my bag. "So, where to next?" I showed her the message on my phone. "My company is offering a position at their overseas branch. My transfer was just approved. I'd applied the day before my surgery." Chloe looked at me smugly. "Well, it looks like you're going to need me. You've never even been out of the country. You probably don't even know how to get through customs. If you beg me, maybe I'll go with you." I gave her a deadpan look. "You know they have guide for that online, right?" Chloe looked away, embarrassed. "I just thought it would be fun to go with you," she mumbled. "You wouldn't say no, would you?" I knew what she was really asking. In that moment, 1,000 different emotions washed over me. 7 years of my life flashed before my eyes. We stood in silence for a long moment. I squinted against the bright sunlight. "Okay," I said finally. "But you should know, I'm a very difficult person to win over. So you see, there's no wound that can't be healed, no abyss you can't climb out of. Everything you lose will find its way back to you in a new form. You just have to keep moving forward. Go and enjoy life."